Hi, Lauren and Jake. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me today. You had some questions on your investments that you wanted me to address. First, is you were considering selling stock C, of which you own 1,000 shares at the current market price of $1.70 per share. Your cost basis per share averages out to $2, so you were hoping to realize a loss, which sounds fine to me. Relative to your other holdings, this stock appears to be the most volatile with a relatively high beta and standard deviation. It also looks like it has negative earnings based on the PE. What concerns me is that you said you wanted to buy the stock back in 21 days. If you were looking to realize the loss for tax purposes, then buying it back within 30 days would violate the wash sale rule and disallow the tax deduction. The solution is to simply wait 30 plus days. I don't have much info on stock C, but if you believe the prospects are great for it over the next year or two, then waiting another 9 plus days hopefully won't drive the price up and out of your acceptable purchase range. While I don't typically recommend that my clients purchase securities that appear to be this risky on paper, you seem to have some enthusiasm about the company, which should help keep you engaged in the investment management process. Since the position was relatively small in your overall investment portfolio, I would encourage you to buy it back when the wash sale rule period is over, assuming the price doesn't go way up between the date of the sale and when you want to purchase it back. Just keep your fingers crossed that your 1 to 2 year investment thesis plays out. Second thing is you asked me questions about stock B that require some calculations. And I'm going to talk you through them right now. Well, we'll see. You wanted to know what the probability was of stock B having a return less than 6%. While I don't have a crystal ball, I can use some basic statistics to give you an idea. I used a z-test, which assumes a normal distribution, which in this case for stock returns may or may not be appropriate. I used the z-test to calculate a z-score, which is the number of standard deviations from the mean that a data point is. A standard deviation is a measure used to quantify the amount of variation that a set of data values exhibits. It is also a standard measure of risk in the investment world. I used the calculated z-score, which was -1, to find the area under the curve using a z-table, which showed that there is a 15.87% chance that stock B will return less than 6%. Stock B has averaged great returns at 15%, and it has had a relatively low risk or standard deviation. But that doesn't guarantee that it will have the same level of returns going forward. The probability of 15.87 that I gave you earlier is using historical data, and while it is a good guideline going forward, it is not a guarantee. You also wanted me to calculate whether or not stock B was over or undervalued based on this year's annual dividend of $4.25. For that, I used a single period dividend discount model. In the numerator, I grew the $4.25, this year's dividend, by 2% to reflect next year's dividend. And in the denominator, I subtracted 2%, the growth rate, from the long-term average return of 15%. This gives stock B a calculated intrinsic value of $33.35. The current market price is $61. That's a nearly 83% premium on what it should be trading at based on the dividend discount model. According to this model, it's way overvalued and you should sell it. However, we should consider that maybe the dividend discount model isn't the best measure of intrinsic value for this stock, as their dividend appears to be pretty low. The next time you come in, we should do a more comprehensive review of your portfolio, as I don't think your expressed willingness to take risk really matches up with your current investments, which are 100% equity. You seem to have a lot of other funding goals for your retirement, for education, and none of these quite line up with what I would like to see. But we can save that for next time, as we should move on to our next topic.